ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. So welcome to our Saturday morning session. Sorry, last week we missed because I was traveling, to Vrindavan for some wedding and also for an appointment with ISKCON. So welcome. Now we will continue on our journey of Kathopanishad. As you know, this is a very, very, important Upanishad. And we will start from mantra number 14 onwards now. Now, we already saw that Nachiketa asked first two boons. First boon was about the well-being of his father and that he would forget all the anger and he will receive me once I reach there with the same love and affection as he showered on me before I left. And then the second boon he asked about the knowledge, how to reach the swarglok, only the knowledge. He didn't want to reach there. He simply said that I have heard that this is the place where there is no death, there is no old age, there is no hunger, no thirst. And, people can live quietly. So tell me the knowledge how to reach there. So that was the discussion which was going on. And then that Vidya, which is capable of taking him there, has been described as Agni Vidya. That Agni Vidya, what is Agni Vidya? So now we'll proceed on that and we'll discuss about this Agni Vidya in detail today. So the mantra number 14, Prate bravimi tadu me nibodh swargyam agni nachiket prajanan anant lokapti mattoho pratistham vidhi tvametam nihitam guhayam. So now Yamraj is responding and he is saying, Ki, O Nachiket, this knowledge, this Vidya, which can take you to the Swarg, I will tell you in detail. Bali bhanti, in a bodh. Now, actually, he doesn't tell it in detail, but I believe these things were written thousands of years back in time. And that time people understood the symbols or the sutras. Sutra means they're just giving you the hint and people will interpret it properly. So those hints were given in the subsequent mantras. So he says, I will tell you, you understand it properly. And then this knowledge will take you beyond death. You will have no death. You will have no anxieties, no fears. It will take you beyond fears. It will take you beyond anxieties, beyond stress, and beyond death. And this knowledge is where do you find this knowledge? This knowledge is located in a Guhyam Nihita. That this is located in the heart of the wise people. The wise people understand it. It is located in their heart. Pratistham atho guhyam nihitam vidhi. That this knowledge is located in the hearts of the very, very wise people. This is what he said here. Now the word pratistham has been interpreted in variety of ways. Now pratistham means to be established. It's something, to be close to the dharma. How? What is the base? So this has been interpreted in detail by different sages who have interpreted this mantra. And they believe that you have to keep expanding your thought process. Like when you confine yourself to body, then you care for the body. And you say that my body is, important. You nourish your body, you decorate your body, and you are proud of your, what you call appearance and your handsomeness or beautiful features, whatever it is. So that is, confined to body. When you expand it to the family, then you care for the family. You care for your spouse, your children, your parents, your brothers, sisters. So that is an expansion to the family. Then you expand it to, for example, to your neighborhood. Then you start caring for the neighborhood. Okay, everything should be fine. Your body becomes less important. Your family becomes less important. Your neighborhood prevails. It becomes more and more important in your thought process. And then from neighborhood you live, you expand it to the city. Then the city or village where you are, that becomes more prominent. So you keep expanding, your whole process. And finally, for example, if some people expand it to the nation, then what we call Rashtra Pratham, that you become, concerned about the nation first. Your own body, your family, your neighborhood becomes less important, and the nation becomes more and more important. So your Pratistham, your Aadhar, your base is expanding. And once it expands to the entire universe, then you attain that universal form, Aham Brahmasmi. So this is how the expansion of thought process takes place. And that takes place with your, internal, what you call manan, your meditation on this process. And you start expanding your pratistham to a larger and larger context, and therefore you become, your what we have heard in our, shastras, that I am nij paroveti ganana lagu chetsam. This is mine, this is yours. That kind of thinking is for those who have lagu chetsam, who have narrow thinking process. Udar charitanam tu vasudeva kutumbakam. So those who have larger thinking, for them the whole universe is one single family. So this is the expansion. This is what some of the, important people have interpreted this particular uh, verse, this particular mantra, that this knowledge is located in the wise people, and you become wise by expanding your horizons. You keep expanding your horizons. Then he also goes further down and explains a few things about the procedural part of Agni Vidya. Now, लोकात्मिग्नि मनुवाच तस्मै या इष्ट का याव तीर्वा यथावा से चापी तत् प्रत्यक्ष विद्योत तत् मथास्य मृत्यु पुनरेवाह तुष्ट है. So, hey Nachiket, oh Nachiket, in order to make the place for the fire, you have to select certain bricks. This is what has been mentioned here. The type of bricks, the quality of bricks, and the size of the place for the fire has been explained in this verse. And he explains this to Nachiket, and Nachiket is able to repeat the entire explanation exactly in the same way as it was explained to him by Yamraj. But this mantra does not explain beyond this. It only says the what type of place would it be, the place of the Havan and Yajna, and what type of bricks and what quality of bricks will be selected. But it does not explain the further expansion of those details. Now this is very important here, and we will go into somewhat details of this whole process. Then he is also actually giving him a sort of mala, a sort of, he had something on his neck and he handed over to him. So we will discuss these two mantras in detail. But before we go into detail, we must understand what is Agni Vidya. Why it is called Agni Vidya. I have been meditating on this Agni Vidya for the last few days because it cannot be something very ordinary. It has to be something very profound. Though it has not been explained here, some parts of it has been explained in Chandogya Upanishad, but not in great detail. Upanishads do not describe it in greater detail. But I think we can meditate on it and we can find. Let us discuss this. Firstly, Agni is in the, we can see it in many forms. The sun's fire, the rays of the sun, that is Agni. The fire we burn from the wood, that is also Agni. The moon which shines in the night, that is also part of Agni. The electricity we use or the lamp we use at home, that is also part of the Agni. These are all different variations of Agni. And this Agni exists everywhere in the universe. The first theater where everything happens is Akash. Akash is the first element which is part of this creation, where everything else happens, whether it is, mountains or the planets or the earth or sun or moon, whatever exists, they exist in this theater. And in this entire theater, the Agni exists, the fire exists. The fire is pervading everywhere like space is pervading. And the fire can manifest itself and it can, unmanifest and disappear, then again appear. Like water cannot disappear and appear. Air cannot disappear and appear. But Agni can appear and disappear. And now we see Agni existing in different forms, in different ways. Let's take the sun. The sun is 1.5 crore kilometers away from us. It regulates our life. We discussed this earlier. That we get up with the sun, when once the sun sets, we, feel tired and we sleep. When there is a jet lag means your alignment with the sun is disturbed. And therefore you need to realign your body with the sun. Now, sun is also providing fertility to the earth. All the crops which we have, that is possible because the earth is fertile. And in that fertile earth, we put a seed, and then the water and air, they work, and photosynthesis happens, and the plants appear, and we get the fruits. So, the fertility of the earth, for example, in the places where sun is not enough, the fire is not enough, then it is not possible. You go to the North Pole or South Pole, the fertility is not there because the Agni is not there. Now, the other form of Agni is the cleaning part. You see, when we have dirt anywhere, we wash it. For example, we have a cloth, dirty, we wash it. Then we dry it. And nothing is cleaned, then what you do? You burn it. Final cleaning is done with the burning. Even metals like, gold and silver, they become pure when they are heated up in a particular temperature. So Agni is the final last resort where cleaning happens. Cleaning is possible only through Agni. And that is why we also call in our own language tap. Tap means tapana. And that tap means to take your body through a rigorous exercise. That Agni, that exercise is like fire. And that fire cleans your body. And that tap, that is why it is called tap. That cleaning of the body and then giving you the wisdom, that is the part of Agni. Then Agni is also the light. The whole universe appears because of fire. Because it gives us the light. If there's no light in the night and the sun doesn't rise at all, you don't see anything. everything is in darkness, disappears. So the knowledge of this universe, of this world, comes because of this Agni. The Agni gives us the light. It gives us the, you know, the power to see. Our eyes operate because of that. We already saw the connection between the fire and the eyes. So Agni is that element as well. Now, if you look at the various minerals in the earth, those, because earth has a temperature inside. You ask geologists, they will tell you different kinds of temperatures existing in the earth. All these minerals are formed because of that temperature and the pressure. The temperature and pressure, science tells you, are the region for different, minerals getting formed into the earth, whether it is gold or silver or, coal or, you know, copper or whatever, uranium or whatever mineral, these are all formed because of Agni. The temperature is important there. Now, when we talk about weather, for example, today is say 25 degrees in Jaipur. Now, what is this degree means? Degree means Agni. What is the level of Agni? So the entire weather system, entire, the variation in temperature, it is all because of Agni, that Agni Vidya. With Agni Vidya, now you can produce crops because we have these greenhouses all over the world now. And the places where you can regulate the temperature through these greenhouses, you can produce anything. Like, for example, kiwis are produced in Rajasthan now. I don't know how, because they manipulate the temperature through the greenhouses. So again, this is the Agni Vidya, which enables us to produce things which are normally not possible. So we are able to manipulate the Agni or the temperature in a particular place, and we create all these things. Now my laptop is operating. This is also because of the Agni Vidya. We have been able to channel this Agni through what we call electric cables, and it turned into electricity, and then we are able to use it. So all the equipment which we use through electricity, they are all part of the Agni Vidya. So what I mean is that this Agni Vidya is existing everywhere in this universe in some form or the other. Even in our body, the entire pranic energy is part of Agni Vidya. The 5 pranas, the main pran, the pran which is helping taking the food in and digestive system, the pran which discards our waste from the body, the pran which takes the energy to every single particle of our body. These are all coming from Agni. They are part of the Agni. In fact, they have been described as 5 Agnis in the body. And because of those Agnis, our entire body system operates. Like this laptop is operating because of electricity, our body system is operating also because of the same Agni, which makes our food digest and convert it into different, body parts, whether it is bone or whether it is majja or whether it is skin or blood or whatever it is. So this is the enormity of Agni Vidya. So Agni Vidya, in my view, is the operating system of this universe, physical universe. You see, the consciousness takes help of Agni Vidya and operates this physical universe. And if you are able to understand this Agni Vidya properly, then you can manage many things. Like we are managing all these equipment today with electric help, electricity, because we are able to manipulate this Agni Vidya in these systems. Similarly, those people who can manipulate the Agni Vidya in their own body, they can transcend the decay. The decay will not happen. The cells will not die. The old age will not come. The death will not come. The fear will not be there. It will disappear. So Agni Vidya should be taken into the context of how this entire cycle of Agni, whether we call it sun rays, we call it moonlight, whether we call it electricity, whether we call it fire, whether we call it energy, all this cycle which is operating in different forms in this universe, that is part of Agni Vidya. And that is why I think it has not been possible for uh, you know Yamdut, Yamraj to explain it in detail, because perhaps in those days this word Agni Vidya implied a lot of things which were known to the humanity very widely at that time. And that included the Agni Vidya operating in our own body system, the Agni Vidya operating in the earth and forming all kinds of, you know, these metals and minerals, the Agni Vidya operating in the atmosphere and, regulating the temperature, the Agni Vidya operating in plants and, herbs, and changing what we call the seasons from one to another, and giving different kinds of fruits and vegetables, and all those things are happening. So this is how the Agni Vidya is regulating the universe. Then the only thing which is another thing which is important is consciousness. Now consciousness uses this Agni Vidya to regulate this physical universe. Like our consciousness is using the pranic energy to regulate our body system and to manage the body system. Similarly, in the universe, the consciousness is regulating this Agni Vidya in such a way that the systems of the universe work. Like sun revolves, the moon revolves, and they also rotate. The earth revolves and rotates. eh? All these planetary systems, the galaxies, they are operating, they are functioning because of this Agni Vidya. So this is what I understand from Agni Vidya, that this knowledge is vast. And if Nachiket is able to understand this knowledge, then he can regulate his body in such a way that he will transcend death, he will transcend old age, he will transcend fear, he will transcend hunger, and he will transcend thirst. All those things could be overcome provided we know this knowledge properly. So this is how I look at this Agni Vidya, because this Agni Vidya cannot be something normal, and we can see it operating in different forms, in different ways. The modern science calls it energy, but we in the ancient India called it Agni Vidya, because different forms of Agni are regulating different sectors of this universe in different ways. Without this Agni, nothing can operate, nothing can function, nothing can work. And the consciousness is using this Agni Vidya to regulate the physical universe. This is how I look at it. So, Yamraj told him the details of the Agni Vidya, which are not given in this Upanishad. But he mentioned that I told him all those details, and Nachiket was able to recite them exactly the way that the Yamraj told him. So Yamraj was very happy. And after becoming happy, what he did? He did this. Tam bravitam priyamano bhut mahatma varam tavidya dadami bhuye tavev namra bhavitayam agni sankata namamen kirupam grahan. Then Yamraj told uh, Nachiket that, I give you one extra boon, not part of the three boons, one extra boon, because he was able to recite the Agni Vidya in totality when Yamraj told him. So he says, I'll give you one extra boon. And that boon, he says that this Agni Vidya in the future will be known as Nachiket Vidya. That this, your name will be associated with Agni Vidya. So if you look at this Upanishad and many other, this Agni Vidya has also been defined as or called as Nachiket Vidya. So this is one thing which Yamraj told him. And the second thing he says that I am giving you this mala, this garland, which was around his neck. It had many anek rupam. It had so many, forms and colors and, appearances. Now, this has also been interpreted by people in different ways. Some people believe that this was the explanation of the different kind of karmas we do in our life and how these karmas which are going to result into different variety of actions, the reactions. So this is how it has been interpreted, because this is not, a language which is as simple as it appears. It is a language which is shrouded in mystery. As we know, Upanishads always talk in very, very deep language. And therefore, this reference to this mala, reference to this garland, cannot be simply to a mala. It has to be something deeper. So, a lot of people have interpreted it as explanation of different variety of karmas which we perform and what kind of reactions they generate. So this was explained. So this was an additional boon which Yamraj gave to Nachiket. So this is how this, what we call Agni Vidya, was known as Nachiket Vidya in the future. But we have understood the importance of Agni Vidya, that Agni Vidya, if we know it properly, like for example, invention of electricity, has changed our entire life completely. This one single invention has transformed the life. So similarly, there could be some new, dimensions of Agni Vidya, which we learn, and that can actually help us in what we call moving towards old age, moving towards death, our stopping our hunger and thirst. This is quite possible if we can regulate this Agni Vidya inside our body. And that is through the pranic energy. And that is how some of the sages have done in the past. There are stories where sages were, remained buried for 20 years and then they came out, alive totally, because they were able to regulate this pranic energy inside their body through the meditation process. So this is what is actually referred to in this Upanishad, though it has not been explained in detail. But I believe this reference was sufficient at that time because people had knowledge of the basics of Agni Vidya in those days. So now let us move to the mantra number 17. Trinachiket. Trinachiket is, now the reference is not Agni Vidya here. Here the reference is now Nachiket Vidya. So it says that if this Nachiket Vidya is practiced 3 times, there's a reference to Trinachiket, that is 3 times, and then 3 Karmkrit, that 3 times it is repeated, it is done 3 times. Then the people are able to transcend death. They are able to transcend old age. And here the reference is also that 3 times has been also linked to the karma, and 3 main karmas referred to here are Yajna, Dan and Tap. We understood them, we saw these words in Bhagavad Gita also. Yajna is when you perform a karma for the Supreme. You take away the doership. You are not the doer. Whatever you are doing, it is doing as per the instruction of the Supreme. You are only an instrument in the process. That is called yajna. You convert your karma into yajna. Then dan is the one when you are able to donate whatever you have, your animals or property or wealth, whatever, to the right people, to good patra, a person who is deserving to take dan from you. So that is dan, that you are donating it to the society. You are doing it for the welfare of the society. You are not using it for your own welfare alone. That means you are sharing it with the society. So that is yajna and dan. And then tap. Tap is, as we discussed, is an internal process where you pass through austerities, where you pass through sufferings, and you ignite your internal fire. You ignite your Agni inside your body, so that you are in a position to clean your body system, your mind system, and your enlightenment starts. So this is the reference to the 3 year. Three karmkrit, that is yajna, dan and tap. If you do along with Agni Vidya, then you are purifying yourself and you are transcending what we call old age and death. So this is what it is referred to. Now, there is one more important, word which has been used in this mantra 17. That is Brahmaj Yajna. Brahmaj Yajna. Now, this word refers to the person who were born of Brahma. Now, what does it mean? Born of Brahma. Everybody is born of Brahma finally. But it is in the beginning. You see, when what you call Hiranyagarbha took place, the first person who was born out of Hiranyagarbha is Brahma. He was created to create the rest of the universe. So the reference here is to the origin of the universe. That the people who actually got created in the very beginning, like the Brahma, and those who were created by Brahma in the first phase, some of these, Saptarishis and saints who were created in the beginning, it is reference to those people. And it says that these kind of people have this knowledge. They have practiced this knowledge in 3 forms, yajna, dan and tap. And those people have been able to reach the highest level of attainment in this physical world. Now we are only talking about physical world here, because all this Agni Vidya is reference to the physical world. It is not about the spiritual world at all. Agni Vidya is regulating the physical world. Agni Vidya is with reference to facilitating the life in the physical world, whether it is the old age, whether it is transcending the death, whether it is hunger or thirst, or whether it is any other facility, like the facility of laptop or washing machine or cooking range. All these are from Agni Vidya. So we are only talking about the physical world. The Swarg is reference to the physical existence with comfort. So this is what here it is saying, that those people who are born of Brahma, who are created by Brahma, if they follow this Vidya in 3 ways, that is Yajna, Dan and Tap, along with Agni Vidya, then they can attain eternal peace. They will not be distressed, they will not have restlessness, and they will attain eternal peace. So this is what mantra number 17 tells us. And then we will take one more mantra, mantra number 18. Here also Yamraj is telling how to choose the bricks. This reference is only to that small. These three mantras are referring to uh, Agni Vidya, but in a very what you call indirect way. It is not the direct explanation of Agni Vidya, but as we understood, Agni is ruling this physical universe in variety of ways, which we discussed in detail a little while ago. So here, that how you select the bricks, how you perform yajna, eh, and what kind of fire you will burn. Even the fires have been, in different versions, there are variety of fires. I think in Bhagavad Gita, they're talking about 7 different variety of fires. In our body, we talk about 5 pranas, which are 5 different varieties of fires. So this fires, Agni, exist in so many varieties. And he says that once you pass through this process and once you have been able to expand your mental thinking, the word which was came Pratishtha, and here there's another word which has come, Anusthan. This is the word which has come here, Anusthan. That once you dedicate yourself completely through this process of thrice, that is yajna, dan and karma, and you follow the Agni Vidya, then you are able to reach the swarglok, the highest abode of physical comforts possible in this world, in this universe. So the swarglok is the highest abode of physical comforts. Now if you look at our own lives, we have enhanced physical comforts considerably in the last 50 years. I can see from my childhood, when we used to draw water from the well, we used to sleep with sun cycle because there was no electricity. And now we have running water in the house, we have electricity all the time, and we have so many equipment in the house which have added to our comforts which were not there. We have modes of transport. All these are possible because of Agni Vidya. Now transport became possible only because of this energy. This is also part of the Agni Vidya. Before we didn't know this Agni Vidya, so we could not use this. So this physical comforts have increased in our own world also in the last 50 years with the use of Agni Vidya. So similarly, if we continue to use this Agni Vidya within our body, because body also has those 5 Agnis inside the body, if we are able to manage those Agnis properly, then we can reach eternal peace, we can reach the highest comfort of the body, and we can transcend death and old age. So this is what I would conclude here today, up to what you call mantra number 18, because here this is Matyu Pasan Purta Pranodya Sokatiko Modate Swargloke, that you are able to transcend the sok, all the negativities, modate, that you have become extremely happy, eternal happiness, and then you reach the Swarglok. So this is but this is all concerning the physical existence of human being. This is confined to the physicality. It is not confined to spirituality. It is not talking about spirituality. So Swarglok refers to the physicality. It is referring to the comforts of the human being, and those comforts can be attained through knowing what is Agni Vidya. And now that Agni Vidya has been re-christened as Nachiketa Vidya. It is being called Nachiketa Vidya. So I will conclude here today, and we will continue in the next session. Thank you so much.